Welcome. I'm Ana Maria Montero, and you are watching the third episode of our special series on human resources in collaboration with Universum, the global leader in employer branding. If you're a business student looking to work in the food and beverage industry, odds are that at some point your CV will make its way into the human resources department of Nestlé, the world's largest food and drink company. Now, according to Universum's 2018 global survey, Nestlé is in the top 50 most attractive companies to work for in the world, coming in at number 31, while taking the number 3 spot here in Switzerland. Now, why does young talent find its way to Nestlé? Well, the top reason they cited by far is interaction with international clients and colleagues. Now, a telling part of Universum's global survey is the fact that they also asked the participants to address how they perceive the companies by identifying keywords they associate with them. So in the case of Nestlé, these are, perhaps not surprisingly, coffee, chocolate, and food. Now, if we widen out now and look at some general job market trends, also a part of Universum's global survey, that's geared towards Swiss professionals, we find that 41% of Swiss professionals are interested in changing their employer within the coming year. Now, to give us a better perspective on these results, we traveled to Nestlé headquarters in Vevey, where we were joined by Laurent Freixe. He is head of Zone Americas. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Laurent.
My pleasure.
Now, I have to say, in previous interviews, for the Universum survey that we've been doing, I've spoken to heads of HR, ABB, UBS. So I was interested when they proposed a top-level manager like yourself to go through these results with me. And I thought, wow, great. So now I get to hear, the people that are also on the receiving end of the HR decisions that are made in different companies. And then, of course, I read that you're passionate about youth employment.
Exactly.
So in the end, I'm really anxious to hear your thoughts. First of all, on this Universum survey.
Yeah. Look, HR, managing human resources, managing talent is a large part of my job as the CEO for the Americas. We employ 110,000 people across the continent, having the best, develop the best talent, developing diverse and efficient teams is really critical to our success. So I put a lot of emphasis on that. And yes, indeed, I'm very much involved in the youth initiative, the Nestlé Youth Initiative. As the youth is the future of the planet. That sounds obvious, but one of the critical issues that we will have to resolve collectively is to be able to integrate the next generation into the workforce, so that they can contribute to the social and economical development. On Universum, we are, of course, always looking at the results with great interest because we aim at
Are these important results for you?
Yeah, they are, of course, because being an employer of choice is really important. We want to attract the best talent. We want the best people to be willing to join us and work with us. So we follow those results. We are, again, in the top among the top employers of choice, which is great and it's important and it's global and we are global as a company. So of course this is key, and we are very happy also to see that in our home country, Switzerland, we are number 3. So that's great, and that bodes well for the future. We again are a company built up on talents, which believes in the power of people and the power of teams. So getting the best on board is really key to our success.
I want to talk more about your endeavors here, specific programs you have at Nestlé. But first, just to continue a little bit with these results that we've been looking at. Again, Universum, they're business students that were surveyed globally. So some of the key words associated with Nestlé were coffee, chocolate, and food.
Yeah, so you would, and it's logical, you would see immediately the categories and what is our focus coming first. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you would see leadership, you would see innovation, you would see diversity, you would see international, you would see connections. So, and those are also the reality of Nestlé. We are probably amongst the global companies, the one which is the most local. So we got those two dimensions. Innovation is critical to our success. We are diverse. There are 100 nationalities working in this building. I think this is unique. It's like Babel Tower or like the United Nations.
That's not bad.
And so we are global and multicultural and diverse by essence, but also by design. And we believe that this is a real strength of this company.
But if you go back to a little bit the associations, you know, of that young people have with the company, you know, the top three are not necessarily healthy, wellness-associated words, which we know this is where the young people are tend to be shifting their attention, right? So, like water isn't on the list, and I know that Nestlé.
No, water is an important category for us, and of course, when you take the top three, you get what comes first top of mind. But what is interesting is that there is a very rich verbatim coming when people talk about Nestlé. There are many associations, and they go well beyond just a few categories of products. And it's true that that's reflecting what Nestlé is, what Nestlé stands for. We are diverse by our portfolio. We are probably the only company that can focus on the life of people globally from birth to elderly ages. We are working in 200 countries across the world. We got factories in 80. So this is really unique in terms of being global and diverse at the same time.
Well, then that really feeds into the top reasons that the surveyors said that they work at Nestlé for the interaction with international clients and colleagues.
Yeah, this is one of the beauties of Nestlé indeed. And maybe this is one of the beauties being Swiss and being Swiss from Swiss origin and being based in Switzerland. The Swiss culture is not a dominating culture, it's an open culture. So we got people from across the world, and this is what makes the work exciting. That you know, in my team I got people from 10, 15 countries just working with me close. Got Mexicans, Americans, Canadians, Brazilians, Chileans, Argentinians, and makes the team very, very diverse, points of view diverse, and that
and makes your job very interesting.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk more about that a little bit further on. But what keyword would you like to be associated with Nestlé that's not coffee, chocolate, or food?
Nutrition, health, and wellness, because this is really our focus. We again, you know, work for consumers from birth to elderly ages, and we want to contribute to healthy lifestyles and healthy diets. But I want to see innovation as well. It's really key to our success. We are the company that developed Nespresso and revolutionized the coffee market, and we put a lot of emphasis in this area.
The image is so strong, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's challenging to overcome.
It's not overcoming. I mean, you got a reality, which has been the reality of the company, but then you got many other realities. So I think we should not just stay focused on the stereotypes. There are so many more dimensions to Nestlé than those ones. But innovation, of course, is important. Technology is important. Focus on the consumers is important, and also the passion to win. We are the leaders. We are the largest, but we want to continue to win, develop new products, and be the best at serving our consumers and our customers.
An interesting number that always, I think, surprises the people that I speak with is that 41% of Swiss professionals are interested in changing their employers this coming year.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of this?
I think it's a reflection also of the times, maybe a reflection that people see opportunities, and that the fact that the market becomes more fluid and mobile is showing this, which I think is a good sign.
But it doesn't worry you that people want to change, so many people want to change their jobs?
I think could be an opportunity for us in a way, because we are attractive and we have a very, very high retention rate. So it's good to have a little bit of mobility. We are also recruiting constantly, so the fact that people want to be mobile, and I think the new generation wants to be mobile as well, and seek opportunities rather than an opportunity for us, as we are attractive and as we are capable to retain the best.
Now, I mean, even though you are in the Switzerland, in the Americas, even though you oversee the Americas, I mean, Switzerland is the headquarters.
Yeah.
So these numbers, are they relevant to you over there?
They are. I mean, many of the people that we are recruiting are not recruited in Switzerland. They are joining the head office from the markets, from the countries. But it's still important to be well regarded in the home country. We continue to recruit in Switzerland, and we want the best. So being in the top 3 is a great recognition, and it's a great advantage on which we want to capitalize. Switzerland is important to us.
And what about selling that Swissness abroad? I mean, we were talking earlier before the interview about how Nestlé is, especially in the Americas, different countries adopt it almost as their own. They think it's a local brand.
Yes, that's true.
So the Swissness of Nestlé doesn't seem to play a big role.
It plays a little bit when we talk to customers, for instance. So when we talk to governments, because they know that we are from Swiss origin. So consumers would tend to believe that Nestlé is local, which is great. Nestlé is their own, is part of their culture, which is a big plus. But when we talk to institutions, when we talk to customers, they know that we are a Swiss-based global company.
So that Swiss-made stamp.
Yeah, and they know also, the reputation comes not only from your origin, comes also from what you are doing on a day-to-day basis. So they know that we are reliable. They know that we have a big focus and passion for quality, which is, I think, also a Swiss dimension.
Yes.
They know that, and this is also something which is maybe not that well known about Switzerland. Switzerland is a very innovative country, so they know that Nestlé is also focused on innovation. I think that's pretty well known.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, maybe from the outside, from the inside, possibly. From the inside, this is probably not the first thing that comes up when you think of Switzerland. I mean, you were referring to the three things that are associated to Switzerland. I'm sure that when you talk about Switzerland abroad, people will talk to you about fondue, Swiss knife, and that's only chocolate. It's only a small part of what Switzerland is. But yes, indeed, innovation, the innovative dimension is there. Passion for quality is there, and those are traits, strong traits of what Nestlé is and stands for.
All right, so let's get into this passion of yours, the employment of young people and ending the unemployment crisis.
Yes.
You were even recently named International Youth Ambassador
Yes.
by the International Youth Organization for Iberoamerica.
Yeah.
Why this passion?
Because I do believe that this is, I mean, as I said at the start, youth are the future of this planet, and we got only one planet, and we know that the planet is facing huge sustainability questions, and this generation will have this responsibility to make the planet sustainable. That's one. The second thing is that we know that we had a huge demographic expansion in the last 50, 60 years. When I was born 50 years ago, we were 3 billion on the planet. We are now 7.5. And there will be 2 billion more in the coming 20 to 30 years. So we will need to be able to accommodate them, to feed them, but we'll need eventually to find them also job opportunities.
Because as we know, how many jobs are going to be? Like 65%, of primary school age children.
Yes, so that's another thing.
We'll have jobs that don't even exist, so there's a lot of work to be done.
That's another thing. We'll need to provide for hundreds of millions of young people who will make it to the job market. But the job market is also evolving because of technologies. Robotization, automations are reducing a number of jobs, but new will be created as well. So what you quote is absolutely true, that many of the jobs that children starting the school today do not exist. And big part of the knowledge that they will learn, especially those working in science and technology, doesn't exist either. So there is a lot of fluidity, and we need to make sure that it's really critical to me, and we see it in Europe, for instance, where there is high unemployment. We see it in Latin America or in Africa, parts of Asia where there is high informality, that formal jobs are a source of social integration. Someone who's got a job, has got a bank account, is integrated into society, is paying taxes, is consuming, is making projects for the future. So is valuable member and player in the community. So if we want sustainable and peaceful communities, we need to make sure that we can integrate the next generation. To me, that's a critical, sustainable question for the planet. So I know that everyone is focused, and it's good that we are focused on climate change, water management, because we got only one planet. And we know that if everyone would consume as the North Americans, we would need maybe 2 planets or 3 planets. We got only one, so we need to take care of it. But we will need to take care also of the youth, because if we are not capable to integrate the next generation into the workforce or provide them a meaningful source of employment, then we take the risk of having a lost generation, like we see in parts of Europe, in Spain. I know that you are from Spain. When you got 50% of the youth unemployed, many have no education, no employment, they cannot really contribute to society. And they want to contribute, but they just cannot. So it's really critical that we make all the efforts, and especially the business has a role to play there, to integrate this next generation through education and through employment. That's the focus of our youth initiative.
Exactly, and where your ambition is to help 10 million young people around the world have access to more economic opportunities by 2030. How do you propose to achieve this?
So I would like to say that
some examples.
Looks like a big ambition. It's a big ambition.
It is a big ambition. 10 million is a lot of
10 million.
people.
And the second thing is that this is an ambition for the long term. So this is not this engagement that we got now for 5 years. It's not just the flavor of the day. This is a commitment for the long term, because we see that as a critical, sustainable issue for the planet and for our communities. So how will we do it? First, we will do it through direct employment. We are recruiting young people across the world, thousands of positions. We got also the baby boomers retiring, so we'll need to replace the last generations. And we want to make the bridge also between the generations, the ones going to retirement, baby boomers, helping the millennials integrate. We will do that through traineeships and apprenticeships. Many times what young people miss on their CV, on their resume, to be employable is just practical experience. They got the theoretical education, university school, but they don't have the practical experience. So we commit to provide to young people apprenticeships and
You're bringing in a little Swissness with that.
Yeah, exactly, because we believe, I do believe, and we believe that this is the best form of education. And everyone, actually, I think everyone would recognize that the best form of education is the one that combines the theory with the practice. The theory alone without the practice is not worth that much, and the practice alone without the theory is worth something, but not as good. So the best is to combine the two, and this is exactly the apprenticeship model from Switzerland. It's not by chance that Switzerland is a country with very low unemployment, that is capable to integrate the next generation, and that has such a high level of efficiency between young people starting the programs and the ones getting a job at the end. I mean, it's almost 100% success rate. So, and it's extremely cost efficient at the same time, because the burden of the education is shared between the state and between the companies.
Okay, so you, like you said, you've been at this 5 years.
Yes.
So if you can take stock, I mean, how do you measure the success of something like this?
So first, we are happy. I'm happy to report that the commitments we have taken at the start of the initiative have been overtaken. We took the commitment at the very start that in the next 3 years, so the time is passed, it was 2013 for 2016, we would create 20,000 opportunities in Europe.
Which you did?
Which we did, and more than that, actually it's 30,000 that we provided. And then we built up an alliance also for youth with business partners, with companies like Adecco, for instance, or Publicis, or Ernst & Young.
This is your alliance for youth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. To have a multiplier effect, to create an effect of snowball. We can have an impact because we are global and we are sizable, but if we can mobilize business partners and have more companies working in the same direction, of course we can have a much bigger impact. And then together we committed to 100,000, and this number also has been overtaken. So the thing is taking shape, and the snowball effect is really at work.
And collaboration.
In collaboration.
Seems to be also a factor.
Exactly. So we go together to job fairs, for instance. So we have common programs, digital programs to help youngsters prepare a resume. This is something that many youngsters do not learn. How to prepare a resume, how to pass a job interview. So we have the capacity to help them, and with the alliance partners, those are the kind of programs that we put in place. So there is a lot happening. Europe has been at the forefront, but it's now the Americas, and it's now even global. And I think it's essential for you, if I'm thinking of Europe again, that we develop the use of Europe, but also that we provide opportunities in Africa to the Africans. The Africans, they want to work in their country, they want to get opportunities in their country, but we need to help them also do that. And if they cannot, then you will see the migratory pressure continuing into Europe. So there is a sustainability also question in this dimension. Helping to develop African continent is also very, very important through employment.
It's on your radar.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I ask because, of course, these kinds of endeavors always come across as great PR for a company, right? Always sounds really good, but it's always important to know, okay, it looks good, but what are you really doing? And it sounds like you've met your goals.
Exactly. So the commitments are very clear. We had commitments for Europe. We made commitments for the Americas. We have commitments also for Africa, and now we have this global commitment. So those are tracks. They are reported. I think what is amazing and what impressed everyone when we started in Europe is that this was not just a high-level initiative from the head office. But there was an initiative in each and every country of Europe. You had an initiative in Spain run by the Spanish management. You had one in Germany, you had one in Estonia, you had one in Poland, you had in France, you had in the UK. And what is very unique with this initiative actually is that
this is a youth initiative.
This is the youth initiative. This is a business-led initiative. This is not PR that is managing, that has created that initiative. This is not human resources. This is the business. This is my CEOs locally that are driving the initiative. Of course, they are supported by their colleagues of HR, they are supported by their colleagues of communication, but the initiative is led by the business. And we took public commitments. We are working with governments, we are working with academy, we are working with the youth organization, and you start to see the impact. So this pushback, actually, we didn't have that much because people see that we are active on the ground, people see that we provide meaningful impacts, and we are recognized for that. And I think part of the reason why we are ranked so high in the Universum or those kind of surveys is that people see what we do.
Got to start wrapping it up. Time flies.
Yeah, it's a lot of
it's a lot of information,
dimensions,
and a lot of dimensions, exactly. But to wrap it up, so under CEO Mark Schneider, Nestlé, he's pushing for changes. So of course, the company's undergoing changes. The offloading, for example, of the U.S. confectionery, which fell under you, I assume.
Absolutely.
What does it mean for your business? I mean, what kind of leader do you need to be to sail through these changes?
Yeah, we are in a. It's a very interesting question because we are in a world which many people would describe as volatile, uncertain, chaotic. So this famous VUCA world. I think one of the critical roles of the leadership is to be able to articulate a direction in which we want to drive the organization and to make it attractive, motivating, and compelling, and give a sense of what we want to achieve as an organization. We want to be the best. We want to be leading and winning, and of course, reviewing our portfolio constantly is part of the strategy. It's part of the strategy. It's not the strategy. It's part of the strategy. And when we see areas where we cannot win sustainably, then we recognize it and we dispose of the business. This is what we did for US confectionery. Our market share was very small and we are not in a position to win. But when we see opportunities where we can grow and when we can enhance our portfolio, we also make acquisitions. So I think this is part of the corporate life that you acquire and sometimes you divest. This is very visible. People have seen also what we have done, the partnership we got with Starbucks, or the acquisition of Atrium in the US. Those are meaningful steps while we were divesting the US confectionery business. And the purpose is very simple. We want to be a better company. We want to focus on where we can grow and where we can win and where we can lead. So that those are the reasons why. And what is important is to be able to articulate it and explain it to the broader organization so that they understand in what direction we are going.
Busy year 2018. So how do you, you said that as a leader you strongly believe in the power of the team.
Yes.
How do you understand what motivates them in order for all these things to come together?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think, well, the people we got at Nestlé and we as an organization, we have a passion for a number of things, passion for quality, passion for winning and leading, passion for innovating. So those are common things that you would find among Nestlé leaders and Nestlé people. And then understanding what motivates the people is being close to them, being connected to them, discussing with them. And I think what motivates them is to win. Nobody wants to lose, so they want to win, they want to lead. And being capable to articulate them a vision and the direction in which we are going, and bringing them on board and letting them be part also of this journey and of this adventure is certainly a motivating factor. One of the strong features of Nestlé is that we are global, but we are also extremely local. So I count, and people know that in my teams, that I count on very powerful and strong local teams. So this is motivating for them to know that I will not decide everything from the lake, the lake shore, but they are part of the journey, they are part of the success, and I need them to lead, innovate, to be successful as a broader organization. So I think they like that message and they like the journey, and this is what motivates them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all of your insights today and for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's been a pleasure.